Hi there, in this video we're going to see the differences between hun, hen and ze. So when do you use hun, hen and ze? Well, you use them to translate the word them in English. And can you use them whenever you want? Well, actually, some people think so. Others don't. So there are some guidelines. For example, ik heb hen gezien, or ik heb hun gezien, or ik heb ze gezien. Some people will see or will say, ik heb ze gezien. Some people will say hun, some people will say hen, even native speakers. So there are some guidelines, not everyone follows them, so it's a little bit, you have to feel it a bit. And one guideline is to check whether there's a preposition in front of this them, like to them, for them, with them, etc. If there is a preposition, then you would use hen as a preferred way to say them. For example, ik spreek met hen. I talk with them. So there you have a preposition, so we're going to use hen. Also mind that hen is only used for people, so no objects there, no cars, no chairs or any other objects. Hen is used for people. Can you use hun, which is also used for people? Some people might use hun here, but it's better to stick with the hen. And can you use ze here? Ik spreek met ze. Well, that would be the second choice. And ze, contrary to hen and hun, can refer to objects like the chairs and the cars. Ze can be used there. And ze is more informal than hun and hen, and that's why it's only the second choice. Especially when you're writing, you would rather use hen instead of ze. Alright, so that's with preposition, without preposition. Then you have to look at the function of the them in the sentence. Them can have two functions, a direct object and an indirect object. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's take two examples here. Ik heb hen gezien, like we've seen just a few minutes ago. And ik heb het hun gegeven. So they mean I've seen them, I've given it to them. How do you find what's the direct object and what's the indirect object? The direct object is what is the object of the action here, or who is the object of the action. Ik heb hen gezien, I have seen them. Them is the object of the sentence. However, in the second sentence, ik heb het hun gegeven, then what's the object? What is being given, or who is being given? Well, it's het that is being given. And whom is it given, or who gets, to whom is it that the it is given? Well, that is your indirect object. And then we're going to use hun. This is a little complicated, and many native speakers also don't really know the difference between hen and hun, especially in this case. So think a bit of what the function is in the sentence and then choose hen or hun. You can also use ze, but again, that's informal in both cases. Ik heb ze gezien and ik heb het ze gegeven. A good trick to remember hun and hen is that hun equals aan hen. Them equals to them. So to them is hun or aan hen, but then you're using a preposition and then you have to use hen. Alright, so when there is no preposition, remember hen is preferred. If you're in doubt, And if it's an indirect object, then you can use hun. Good. 2 more points before we summarize the video. Hun is also used for the possessive. For example, het is hun auto, it's their car. Then we're going to always use hun, no ze, no hen. Their is hun. And the second point, ze can also be used as the subject of a sentence. For example, ze zijn leuk, they are fun. And then it's they. They is subject of the sentence. Good, to sum it up, not everybody knows the difference between hen, hun, and ze. Ze is more informal and can mean objects and people, but hun and hen are always people. If there is a preposition, then or better use hen. If there is no preposition, think of the function in the sentence. To them is hun, and them without the to is hen. All right, this question was asked by Ainjali, if I'm pronouncing that right. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, and who knows, it might be the next video on this channel. So, tot ziens!